Okay, I'm going to be recording about on-page optimization today. There's a lot that goes into SEO, but the two main things are what's happening on your website or on-page optimization, and what's happening all over the rest of the internet, which is off-page optimization. So really quickly, on-page optimization, I'll just kind of show you. Well, let's go through some of the basics here. So I actually just Googled dentist, Lehigh, Utah, which is where I live. And you'll see this pretty much everywhere. You'll see an ad section at the top, people that are paying for their ads. Then you'll see the maps section, which is what we call local SEO. This is what a lot of people call the snack pack. That used to be pretty strongly correlated with organic, but I'm seeing that less and less now, and kind of has a lot of other factors than what the organic section has. So I want to just jump into organic. In this situation, we've got number 1 is the same for both. Then it changes after that. Number 3 is number 2 here, and this one's not in there. So there's some correlation probably still, but not nearly as much as there used to be. So at any rate, on-page optimization, we need to give Google the right information about what our site is about, without overwhelming it of what the site's about. So like if I'm trying to rank for this keyword dentist Lehigh, Utah, and I put this in my page too many times, I can actually get a penalty, and Google will just push me down and filter out my my site out of the search results. So I want to make sure we're optimized to enough where Google knows what we're about, but not so much that they think we're being overly aggressive. We're trying to do what's called keyword stuffing, and that they push us down. So I'm just choosing the first one. I have no affiliation with this practice. If this is your practice, well, you did a good job. So at any rate, the site looks nice. This is what we call the menu. This is the site title up here. So if I hover, it's Cosmetic and Emergency Dentist, Lehigh, Utah, Gordon Family Dental. Their domain, gordonfamilydental.com. That would be what's called a branded domain. You could have a branded domain, you could have an exact match domain or an EMD, or you could have a partial match domain or a PMD. EMD would be me exactly matching the main keyword I'm trying to go after, so like dentist Lehigh, Utah. Partial match would be something like Great Dentist Lehigh, Utah.com. So I'm partially matching, or part of my domain is matching the search term that I'm going after. So we've got to look at our website, our web page, like a book. It's got to be structured well. It's got to communicate the right information. So we'll have basically a title, and we'll have chapters, and then we'll have the content of the chapters. So we've got our site title, which is going to be the same title for the entire site, and then we're going to have a page title. So this is our home page, and we're going to be looking for an H1 or a heading 1. This, Welcome to Gordon Family Dental, is actually just a homepage title, but it doesn't. So that's the title tag. Then we're going to be looking for H1 tag, which my guess is this Dentist Lehigh, Utah, Gordon Family Dental. That's the keyword that they're trying to rank for. So if I inspect that, yep, that's an H1. It's got their exact match keyword in it, so that's good. They've also got their name, address, and phone number here, which is good. That just gives Google the information. They added that as schema. You can see schema.org. They've got schema in here twice, which schema is basically a semantic language, or a language that basically ties all of your properties together on the internet. So within this schema, I could have, for example, I could have different properties that I own. So I could have my Facebook page, I could have my YouTube page, I could have my Google Plus page, I could have all of those things put in here, but then it only displays a few of them, which I can also tell in schema. I can also tell Google that this is about a local business. It's a dentist that's at this latitude and this longitude, so it matches up with Google Maps. Like I said, it's just kind of tying all your properties together in kind of a semantic language. So it's important to have schema on a site. I always put schema on there. Getting overly aggressive with schema can get you a penalty, but that's typically with review schema, so you won't really have to worry about if you're just doing your business type schema and your address. So at any rate, they've got, this is, like I said, this is their title. Then we're going to look for heading 2 tags or H2 tags that are their chapters. So as we scroll down, we'll see other larger sections or headings that are also giving it. So we've got giving information to Google. So we've got kids in this one. So dental, again, kids. Exam every 6 months. Why are dental cleanings so important? So those are kind of the chapters about their page. Within their page, they've got Lehigh Dentist. They've got their brand name several times. They've got general and cosmetic dental treatments. You're going to want exact match keywords, and then you're going to want what's called semantic keywords. So if I was trying to rank for dentist Lehigh, Utah, I could say Lehigh Dentist. I could say Lehigh Dental Professional. I could say Dental Provider Lehigh, Utah. I could do all of those as semantic variations of the keyword without keyword stuffing. So typically I try to keep my exact match pretty low so I don't trigger any penalties. I usually put one in the H1. Sometimes I'll put it in the H2. Then I maybe put it 1 or 2 times depending on how long the site is in the text, and then I usually put it in an image alt tag, and that's all I'll put it on the page, and then everything else will be semantic from there. So like I said, they've got it in the H1, they don't have it in the H2s, and they've got some variations of it throughout the text. They've got the schema on the page. They've got some images. The images do not have alt tags, at least not exact match alt tags. They've got some links out so that they're interlinking all of their pages, which is good. Right on the home page, I typically like to have pretty close to 1,000 words. They're probably just north of 500, maybe a little bit more. But all in all, the site looks great. They've got a lot of their bases covered for on-page optimization. There's the schema again. Yeah, that would be the only things that I would maybe do a little bit different would be including some sort of semantic variation of this in H2, and including that in an alt tag, so like the dentist image. As I inspect that, it says image alt source, image index doctor, so that's where the image is stored. Usually you can have an alt tag there that says, you know, if the image doesn't come up right away, sometimes you'll see text on the background. That's the alt tag for the image. And I would always, that's basically, Google can't see an image, they can just read the text. That's the alternate text. So I would put the alternate text on that as exact match dentist Lehigh, Utah. And that would communicate really well with Google what your site is about. From there, and like I said, I try to keep it around 1,000 words. But the site looks great. They're interlinking. They've got their menu. They've got a lot of their services linked from the home page. You know, everything looks good. This is a site you could definitely rank with some good off-page optimization, and they obviously are ranking it. But at any rate, if you're trying to do it yourself, make sure you've got the right structure. Make sure you've got a good site title that includes some of your keywords, and your brand name as well. Make sure you've got good title tags, H1 tags, H2 tags, and then don't go over aggressive with the exact match keywords in the text. but include a lot of semantic variations of them. And then also make sure you got schema on there to tie all your properties together. And then the next part that you'll be going after is off-page optimization. To give you an idea of how that works, I tell Google what my site's about. That's great. But that doesn't tell Google that I'm the most authoritative person about my site. That doesn't earn me the #1 spot. The #1 spot in Google's mind is who's the most authoritative, or who do people think should be there, right? That's what they're trying to deliver up, is who would people like to find at #1. And the way that you demonstrate authority is by getting other people to cite your website as good material using like a backlink. So let's say I own a blog about dentistry, and I say I'm writing an article about dental implants, and I cite your dental implants page. That makes Google think that you've got good information about dental implants on your page. And so that adds some authority to your site. So those are called backlinks. You want them from the right sites. You want them at the right speed. We'll do a whole nother section on off-page optimization. But that should give you an idea about just the basics of on-page optimization. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer those. Otherwise, if you're doing this on your own, give it a shot. In most situations, if you get the on-page optimization right, I can get pretty dang close to page 1 with good on-page optimization before I do any link outreach or any of those types of things. So that'll give you a good idea of how good your on-page optimization is. Like I said, if you got any questions, throw them in the comments. We're more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, give it a try and let me know how it goes.